The supermarket lights were too bright for a Tuesday morning, humming above aisles that looked full but felt empty in a deeper way. A woman in a faded hoodie stood in front of the dairy case, scrolling through her banking app with the quiet dread that has become its own language in America. Milk or yogurt, rent or medicine, a life reduced to subtraction. Above her, a screen flickered. President Donald Trump smiling at a rally, the caption declaring, "This is the golden age of the American economy." She did not look up. She put the yogurt back. Then she walked away. That small moment, silent, ordinary, easy to miss, reveals more about the state of the country than any press conference. Because for years the president has promised that tariffs would bring back jobs, that cutting government programs would eliminate waste, that harsh immigration policies would protect the forgotten worker, and that corporations would create prosperity for everyone. But an economy is not measured in speeches. It is measured in choices people should never have to make in front of the dairy aisle. Economist Peter Atwater calls this the K-shaped economy. One line shoots upward: stocks, tech profits, artificial intelligence fortunes. The other slants downward: wages that cannot keep pace, support programs stripped bare, everyday costs rising like a tide no one can outrun. You could see the divide clearly during the longest government shutdown in modern history. Unpaid workers lining up at food banks, while inside the White House, fast food was spread across a silver table like a joke told by someone who has never laughed with the poor, only at them. And the cruelty is not theoretical. A 39-year-old warehouse worker in Ohio, a father of two, stood outside the facility where he had worked for more than a decade, holding a cardboard box that still smelled like machine oil. "A system can do my job faster," he said quietly. "They told me to be grateful it happened now, before Christmas." His voice cracked when he whispered, "My son starts college next year. I do not know how to tell him this." This is the cost of artificial intelligence as lived by the people who never get invited to the conferences where executives praise it as the future. For the top of the K, artificial intelligence is a miracle. For the bottom, it is an eviction notice. Tariffs did not bring back the factories of the 1960s. They brought higher prices on appliances, on groceries, on construction materials. Immigration crackdowns created labor shortages without delivering meaningful wage growth. Cuts to education, housing assistance, and health services fell hardest on those already holding their breath between paychecks. Then came a strange moment, the president telling Americans that their children do not need as many pencils or dolls. Sacrifice, he said, was necessary. But sacrifice for whom? Because no one asked the wealthy to skip their tax breaks or postpone their next investment property. Sacrifice was a burden assigned downward. People feel this. They do not need economists to explain it. They see it in the rent that jumps $200 overnight. They feel it at the pharmacy counter when insurance suddenly does not cover that anymore. They watch it happen in real time, the horizon moving further away. Political experts keep asking why Americans are angry. Here is the reversal. The moment that flips the narrative. People are not confused about the economy. They are living it. They are living it in ways the powerful never see. Polls show that nearly 3/4 of the country describes the economy as fair or poor. That is not a messaging problem. That is lived experience. And when lived experience becomes this heavy, people stop caring about party lines. As Atwater says, the bottom is turning purple, not Republican red or Democratic blue, but a deeper colour, a bruised one. You can see hints of this shift everywhere. In New York, Zohran Mamdani rose with a message the political class tried to ignore. The wealth divide has become obscene. In warehouses, in classrooms, in hospitals, in small towns and big cities, people who once voted predictably now search for something that feels like help rather than performance. This is not prosperity. This is pressure. And pressure always finds a voice. Artificial intelligence, tariffs, austerity. These are not abstract policy debates. They are forces shaping whether families can breathe, whether they can hope, whether they can plan for anything beyond the next bill. Which brings us back to the supermarket woman. She did not know she was a symbol of anything. She was simply trying to stretch what little she had into the illusion of enough. But that quiet moment, that small, private defeat, is happening everywhere. And when millions share the same silent struggle, silence does not last. Because a golden age that only glows for the wealthy is not a golden age at all. It is a warning, a bright, burning warning for everyone else. Subscribe to the progressive wave and step into a current that refuses to be dragged by propaganda.